Well, to be honest with you, man, and I've told other, artists that are putting music out, you guys putting music out and doing your stuff helps a lot of people, man. It really does. Music gets people through a lot. It does. Music is just so helpful to so many people in so many ways. And whether artists know it or not all the time, I'm sure they know it to an extent. Music can save people's lives. I mean, I hate to say that, but it can save people's lives. It literally can. A song can change your attitude about a day, a this, a that you heard. So what you're doing it is important. It is powerful, and it does help people, man. It really does.
Well, thank you, and I agree with you in the general sense that putting stuff out into the world, you never know who it's going to hit or how it's going to
Yeah.
land. It's going to affect them, and I know from receiving those things from people, um, uh, what a huge difference a word can make, a lyric can make, a gesture can make. And again, that's been one of the things for me is getting to play these shows every week. Um, it's incredible for me on a bunch of different levels. But one thing that's really cool is like I send postcards out to everybody, anybody that tips me. I send them a postcard if
Wow.
their address is on PayPal or whatever. And um, and what I gotten back is being able to communicate with people, and they just leave me these messages, and they're letting me know how much these shows mean to them. And they may not be my biggest fans or whatever, but for them, it's a place to congregate and a way to like just take their mind off things for once a week. And I never viewed my stuff that way. I mean, I viewed individual songs as maybe being therapeutic. I viewed shows as being a good time or a certain kind of experience, but I never viewed it as being um, this respite from a crazy world. And and that just makes me feel it's so humbling to have all these people just reach out and say, "Man, what you're doing means a lot," and at this time, and that's like I knew that was out there in some vague way, but now I'm communicating with people directly, and it's just overwhelming to have that many people kind of tell you that, and it
Yeah.
makes me feel differently about what I do and treat it. I think I respect it and value it more, um,
Oh, wow.
knowing what it means to people in a way
Love
that I
that.
didn't before.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Well, that's why people love you so much, man, because you take it seriously, right? You take it seriously what they're telling you, and it's why it happens, right? You can't play music without people listening to it, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean, when I could play shows, I used to say it every time. I said I would do this whether anybody was here or not, um, because I love to play music. But it's a whole lot more fun when people are there, and
100%.
um,
It's a whole lot more fun when people are there.
yeah,
I love
um,
it.
and and now there's not people physically in the room, but knowing that they're out there
Yeah.
means the world. Knowing there's people watching you, and I mean, I do feel that energy, and I do feel connected to people, even though I can't see them. It's like
That's
just
awesome.
simply knowing that they're receiving what I'm putting out makes me feel like there's some connection there, and in times like these, it really you need that connection.
Let me ask you this. Do you think moving forward, okay, the show start, you're touring again, you're sort of back in the game. Do you think you'll keep some of this Zoom, live show, or try to build it in? Maybe obviously not to the extent you do it now, but still keep it a part of what you do moving forward, even after all this.
Yeah, I do. I do. It's been a really eye-opening thing for me. Uh, it's I just feel like one, it's allowing me to work from home, and then two, it's creatively I can do things that I can't do on the road, and that I'm just in total control of my environment and what I put out there. And it's different. It's I don't know what's better or worse, but I know that I value it and appreciate it. And even if things went back to normal tomorrow, I would still want this to be a part of my uh, career in some way and part of my life. And so this, and then I do a thing called Patreon, which is a platform where people can support creators.
Everything.
Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
like chefs on there. There's songwriters. There's musicians. There's photographers. There's artists. There's journalists,
Yeah.
writers, bloggers. And you just sort of, it's like a subscription service, and these people get exclusive content for whatever you're doing in exchange for their support. And I've been doing it for years before the pandemic happened, but when it hit, I really doubled down on it. And now that's another thing that I'm just like, that's a part of my life now, is that these people, these patrons, they keep me afloat, and in exchange, I treat them as a really important part of my life, because they are. So it's just fun. It's made me feel more connected to my fans, and it's also given me a way to a place to channel my energies, so I can create, and there's an audience there for it. And I don't have to worry about a publicist or a radio promoter or a record company. I just can make stuff here, and I give it to them, and they seem to be grateful for it, and I get a blast. I have a blast doing it and get a kick out of doing it. And it's just a really cool reciprocal relationship. And then I get to be a patron for other people too, other artists that I like. And so it's really cool, and not unlike how most artists were supported for most of time. The idea that you could just be a touring musician wasn't really a thing until this century, or last century. At first I thought this seems odd, and then I think about it historically, and I've got a lot of Medicis out there.
I love that. Well, it's direct support, right? Your money's going directly to that person, and that's it, right? They get, you know what I mean? It's direct support.
I mean, you buy a record, and chances are, none of that money is going to the artist, or very little of it. But you go, and you go to a show, and it's going to the artist, and it helps. But and I'm not telling people don't buy records. It all helps. But there's a difference in spending $15 on a CD, and directly giving somebody $15 is
it's the new way, man. It's definitely the new way. I just feel like it's the new way to artists to support themselves, and for fans to support the artist that they love. I think they do it with podcasts like crazy, right? There's a lot of podcasts that have that, and I get it. It's great. I love the additional content, that can be provided, and you kind of feel like you're in the loop, in the secret of things, which is great, right? You get this exclusive stuff, which is awesome. What for your Patreon members, do you have anything cool that's coming up in the next couple months or something they can look forward to when they're listening to this interview?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a schedule. I haven't shared with them because I don't want them to hold me to it if I miss a day. But every month, I put out a new song. I record a new song, and the only people that get to hear it. And yesterday, on the first of every month, I released that, so they can expect that every month. And then I do twice a month. I do this thing called "What's Hayes Going On About," where I pick one of my songs, and sometimes I'll let them vote to which song they want to hear, and I'll just talk about it. I'll tell the story behind it, how it got written, what the lyrics mean, who I wrote it with, or anything interesting about it. And I just tend to get long-winded, as you can probably tell just from this interview, and so I can talk for a long time about my songs. And then I've got Memorabilia Mondays, and I'll take some item from my career that I think has an interesting story that they might, if I went on TV and talked about it, maybe people wouldn't care, but the people that are interested in my career, or followed it, or want to know more about it, I think they find it pretty interesting. And so just stuff like that. And then I have a concert exclusively for the patrons once a month.
Oh wow!
So different things. So for like $1 a month, they can get all of that. And then there's just different tiers of things, all the way up to I've got I think it's like a $30,000 or a $15,000 a month level, which no one has done. But I thought,
Holy
what the hell,
cow.
I'll put it up there. And the whole idea is, you remember how Wu-Tang Clan made a record and only, whatever, Martin Skrilling or whatever.
Scully, yeah, that pill guy, right? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the idiot.
he bought it. Yeah, that idiot
He
bought that
bought
record.
it. But the idea is like, who knows? Maybe there's somebody out there. If you contribute X amount, I'll make a record, and you're the only, you know.
That's
You,
crazy. That's pretty cool. Damn, you might.
I
Hey,
mean, some
somebody
people have a
listening.
lot of money. There's things like it's all relative again, but sometimes what is a lot of money for me is pocket change for, if
Sure.
if
Oh,
you're a
me.
billionaire, it literally is
I get it,
you don't think twice about it. So I thought I'd put it out there. Who knows? Maybe one of those people exists and is a fan.
dude.
It's
That's
just
a
looking
great,
for a way to give Hayes Carll a bunch of money.
great. Hey, it's a great idea. If somebody goes for it, they go for it. If they don't, it's not like you lose $15,000. All right.
No,
It's not like you're not. Yeah, you're not going to lose money, and it's not like you're not going to put out new music because of it. So, no, I love that. Well, now listening. Okay, I got an idea for your fans here. Okay, fans, so you're listening.
Right.
Get together. Start emailing. Let's get this 15 G's together, and y'all can get an album. 50 people. I'll throw in however much money that is. 300 bucks, 300 bucks, 50 people, 300 bucks. Right? Is that right? Is that my math I think
it would be 3,000 people at $5, 300. Yeah, you're right. 300 people at $50.
yeah. Or like you
Yes,
said,
yeah.
3,000 at five. Hey, that would be too many. That'd be too many cooks in the kitchen there. 3,000 input of. I want this song. I want that song.
That 300 is the sweet spot when you're
Yeah.
trying to pick song selection.